Hello, Cyclocross friends, and thanks for tuning in to episode 355 of Cyclocross Radio. We are. What are we doing? We're talking about Boulder Cup. We're going to do that. Maybe a little CX in Canada. We got a ton of viewer questions, so we'll work our way through that. Maybe a little look at Europe. But before we do any of that, quickly want to just remind you that Cyclocross Radio is sponsored by Hammerhead and the Karoo, and it's the weather. The weather is turning here, Boedi. I know you're in short sleeves, so it's like super nice down where you are, but it's rainy here, and that shouldn't dissuade you from taking your Karoo out into the elements, because it's weatherproofed, so you're not going to have an issue with it, and that's just one of the many features that's what I was thinking about today. And then also, just again, the constant upgrades. I like my tech. I like when I'm one of those people that doesn't mind, like when a firmware update, they're like, you gotta wait a couple weeks, or else it's gonna brick your phone or your camera or whatever else. So I'm like, oh cool, let's do it. And with the Karoo, that's like constant, just getting new features, getting bug fixes, getting everything. They're not letting their technology just sit and fester. They're always upgrading it. So that's another feature that I enjoy. But here's the deal. It's a great cycling computer. You should get one. You can go to hammerhead.io and buy one now. And our deal continues. For a while there, we were saying get it quick because it may go away. That may still be the case, but we've been saying that for a while. But I'm confident that you can still get in on this. But just be safe and do it now. And that deal is that if you get the Karoo computer, you can get the heart rate monitor on us at CX Radio. So put the computer into your basket and then grab the heart rate monitor, put that in your basket, then go check out. And when you check out, use the code CX Radio, CXRADIO, one word, CX Radio. And the price of that heart rate monitor will be deducted from your total. So you can thank us for that. So go do that now. Hammerhead.io, use the code CX Radio, put the Karoo and the heart rate monitor in your basket. The heart rate monitor is on us. All right, Boedi, we're still back.
We're still back.
How's it going?
It's going good, and I have a story that ties directly into your ad read.
Yeah,
it's done so expertly. I was going to go for a bike ride today. I was like, all right, I got some time. The weather is nice, and I go out to my bike, and my batteries are dead on my bike, so I had to charge them, as you do in 2025. And then they said, oh, we need to update the firmware. So, okay, so I need to update the firmware on my shifter, which is a weird phrase. But I went to power on my Karoo. I had to wipe the literal dust off the computer. And it said, hey, we have an update. And I was like, all right, I knew they would. It's been long enough. It was half a gig of data. I feel like it'd been so long that they're like, yeah, you're a few OSs behind. But anyway, I went for a bike ride, and just at first, you got to update your stuff, guys. Stay ahead, charge your batteries, update your firmwares on your shifters.
I know it's now like riding bikes and taking photos. It's all the same stuff. It's like firmware updates. Make sure they have charge. You don't want to get to the start line without a charged battery, either if you're shooting it or racing it.
Exactly. And also like the firmware updates for the batteries are always, I didn't know that. I was thinking my drone's like, yeah, you got to update your battery firmware. Sure, let's do it. Yeah, I don't want to be on an old system. But yeah, that was fun. And
yeah, that's the lens firmware updates still always just baffle me. I was like, how does this work? How are you doing this? Where is this?
Yeah, and like what's computers, they're everywhere, So
yeah, we're just old men.
We're old men. But I enjoyed my 25-minute bike ride because I don't have enough sealant, because sealant dries up. So I rode home on 7 psi.
You didn't update the firmware in your sealant?
I didn't like, I got all this stuff out of the way. So I'm hoping that next time I'll be able to actually go on a little cruise.
Yeah, it was truly like in every way the shakeout ride.
Exactly. 100% the shakeout ride. And yeah, I was texting you last Wednesday after we recorded, or Tuesday. And on Wednesday, I did a bandit cross race. I want the listeners to know I finally ridden my cross bike. I participated in the bandit cross race. Before the start of that race, I was like finishing up work and I was like, oh, both my tires are flat. Well, I haven't ridden that bike since, I don't know, March. So I had 2 ounces of sealant to split between the 2 tires. And so I did that. But they held. And I didn't die. It was a night race, a lot of single track, a lot of power sections. I was really feeling, I was emphasizing with the athletes. I was like, not enough turns in this course. I was like, I could use some more turns. I have no fitness, but like I felt like I could stay with the leaders if there were more turns, but it was all power. So now I know what those riders are talking about. You know, horses for courses. True bandit cross fashion. The podium was Cyclocross bike and 2 mountain bikes. So that was a good time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Was there an actual podium?
No, there was no podium.
Picnic table? Anything? Any photos?
No.
Nothing.
It literally was pitch dark. I mean, somebody posted some videos.
I am 100% in favor of this. I like the whole concept of just go do your thing and then it's done. You know, it doesn't.
Yeah, it's like
no pomp.
3 cones, maybe 1 piece of tape letting you know not to go that way. This is super lo-fi, a little series we have put on by Nola Fixed and West Bank Gravel Club, and it's fun. And there's another one this weekend, and I will go, and I'm sure I'm sure I will die just as much, but I'll have a good time. And It's been nice. It was nice. It's nice to ride the cross bike after talking about it and watching so much of all the really cool, fun athletes do it. Yeah.
Well, it was good you got your exercise in, and that you've been, you know, getting that fitness back, you know, so that's going to help. That's going to help the golf game, I think.
Yeah,
for sure. I did the opposite. So I was actually was editing the final junior race for CXTV of the season and doing the voiceover and everything. And it was late at night, and I was sort of like got into it and just wanted to sort of you got into the flow, Boedi.
Yeah,
I was in the flow.
I know that.
Just jamming, and it was like,
crushing.
I'd started, you know, late at night, and I finished, and it was like 12:07, and I looked at my watch, and I was like, "Huh, I didn't close my move ring."
Uh-oh.
Which, you know, it's fine, but it had been 1,017 days, and CXTV ended the streak, ended the close 3-year streak. And
I feel like there's some credit though. I mean, like I know the streak is over, but like the amount of stuff you overworked during CXTV with the running around. So
yeah, for sure. It was not a problem meeting the goal, but there were days in there that I'd be like, you know, it'd be 10 o'clock at night, and I'd be gotta go walk a couple miles, you know, close that ring, and I'd go do that, and that was good. That kept me moving, but. On the other side of that, I feel just freedom. I feel liberated. I feel like a new person. I feel like a burden has been lifted from me. The ghost of Steve Jobs has just freed me. And I can now just go on. So while you're doing more, I'm doing less. I'm now on the couch going, I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm going to let that just move. I don't have to close anything. It doesn't matter.
I approve of this. Peaks and valleys. You know, that's how we move through life, you know?
That's it.
And sometimes you got to veg a bit.
I don't have to worry about like, oh crap, I'm flying to Prague. Am I going to, you know, be able to, you know, close that ring? You know, I'm going to have to like do laps of the airport to make sure. But no, don't have to do that anymore.
Okay. There you go.
So we're good.
You do it when you want to.
Exactly. Should we talk about some cyclocross?
Yeah, we should. What happened this weekend, Bill? Because you went somewhere.
I did. I went to Boulder Cup. The return of UCI level racing at Valmont Park. So my first time there.
You didn't go to nationals in 2014?
I did not. Did you?
Wow, I did. That was my first nationals.
Here's a question for you. Where did you park?
We parked above the course, sort of like, you know, the start finish goes. They go west and they turn.
Was
up.
it like on the street, or was there like a lot?
There was like
Did
a
you
lot.
Park in the airport.
I assume there's been some construction in the last 11 years, because there was just a big empty lot sort of above the course, a field, and we parked there.
Oh, there's a county jail there now. Was that there?
I don't remember. I mean, it wasn't like super close, but it wasn't a big deal just to kind of walk down.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't that big of a deal. I was just, after people questioning our parking situation at Pan Am's, I'm honed in on the parking now at races.
Yeah.
But this wasn't bad.
Where were the pros at? Were they also up there?
Oh no, they got their lot.
Yeah. They got kind of down in the bottom part of the course next to the pits.
Yeah. Good coffee vendor.
Oh, nice.
Happy with that. Don't know the name, sorry. But it was fun. It was a beautiful day. I mean, absolutely beautiful day. It was probably 20 to 30 degrees warmer in Boulder than it was in Washington, D.C. And headed out there with my Heather, my wife, and my daughter, who goes to CU, and just and actually two of her roommates who tagged along. So it's kind of fun. And,
was it their first cross race?
I think it was their first cross race. Yeah,
nice.
And they, I think that for all of them, I think it was their first time seeing a legit skills bike park as well, with a lot of ramps and big air sections and stuff. So I think that was more exciting than the cyclocross race. I don't know what that says, but I think that's an honest assessment.
Yeah, maybe it's more, it's like, it's a Red Bull stuff, right? It kind of hooks you into the extreme sports nature, and then the cyclocross more of an acquired taste. You have to sort of understand racing dynamics and tactics.
It did actually bring up something, because it's always like, I've always said that cyclocross, and I know other people argue this as well, that you can throw somebody into a park and it's easy to understand. I think that's true for the most, but you're seeing the same people come around. I mean, it's very similar in that aspect to crit racing, I guess.
Yeah.
I think the appeal for cyclocross and what we did in Belmont is that, especially for a place I hadn't been before, is that it's fun to go around and just see the different features and see what's going on. That kind of fun off camber they got. You got the steps, you got the other steps.
Yeah. So the Pete's Plunge, the 5280 steps, and then the quote unquote Belgian stairs.
Yeah.
Did anybody ride that?
I would petition them to change that, because I don't know what makes them Belgian. I mean, there's a Netherlands, isn't there, in Colorado? Maybe they could be the Dutch stairs.
The Netherlands stairs. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I was there many years ago, but I watched Lauren's course pre-ride video, and I was like, that's okay. That looks pretty similar to what I had saw before. I think at Nationals, they kind of went down in a little ravine, and I think at this course, they just kind of went over it, the bridge. But yeah, just the dry, dusty, bumpy Colorado dirt, which we have heard is what Brunner specializes in. And going to the men's race right away, Bill, was he special at it? How'd it gotta go?
I think it went really well for him. I think what I told you before the race, my joke was that 1 minute into the race, he had a 2-minute lead. He basically just rode away from everyone and kept it that way, and had over a minute gap at the end. Henry Coote was up there for a while with him, and then he is not a fan of the Belgian steps. Came around the little U-turn into them a little too hot, and slid out and off his bike. And hopefully he's okay, but definitely that took probably literally took the wind out of him, but also took the wind out of his sails for that race. And then following him, this was a big CMU race, so they were all there in their collegiate kits. And so a lot of mountain bikers out there racing. It was good to see, Ivan Sippy and Jack Spranger back. They finished second and third on day one. Benjamin Brobman, good race for him in fourth, and Garrett Bashore. And then another mountain biker, Nicholas Konecki. It was fun to see him out there racing some cross. So yeah, Sam Brown, awesome race for him. Probably his best this season, I think, in seventh. And then Henry Coote in eighth, and our boy Jules out there. I don't know, doing some party pace laps.
Suffering from the elevation. I mean, he's
maybe
out of North Carolina.
He's lived out there for years. Maybe he's heading back to. But no, it's good to see Jules out there. He can chill out. He's got other goals this year.
Yeah, and then
The women's elite race was fun. You know, I think I sent you that video. They had the send off for
right.
Carolyn Mani, which, you know, just sort of the ceremonial bikes up that she paraded through in the start
What do we
grid.
call that? Because
I don't know, but I've seen,
I would
like, I remember the first time when I was working on the mountain bike World Cup. I forget who it was that it's a Spanish guy that retired, and they did that for him through the tech center, like during the race, which was pretty cool.
like so in
So all the mechanics did it.
got it.
So all the
Okay.
mechanics held up wheels and like spun them, and then he rode through the, yeah, like on his
So
last lap.
we've seen this. Like I feel like I hadn't noticed this before, but this last maybe year and a half, 2 years, I see a lot more. For me, I've seen a lot on the road scene. All the riders retiring this year are getting these things, and so you sent me that video, and I was posting, and I was like, "Oh, what do you call?" I was like I Googled, I was like, "What is this name? Is it a salute? Is
Yeah.
it a parade?" I couldn't quite think of the proper term. So we need like a good catchy term for when everybody
I'm sure there's
puts
some
the
like
wheel.
military term for it or something, but yeah, let us know. Let us know what that's called. So here's my favorite part of that. You know, it's this touching moment for Carolyn last weekend of racing as a professional, and the announcer at the race is going through her all of her many accomplishments, and he gets to that she won 4 French national championships, and in true Carolyn, you know, this sort of like heartfelt moment in true Carolyn manner, she was like, "I won 5. Get it right. What are you doing?" Which was I thought that was the most you know, heartfelt moment for me, because
I
it was her
mean,
true spirit coming out.
100%. That's 100% Caroline Money in the time I spent with her. But I feel like as a bike racer, like you earn those Palmares and
Heck
you
yeah.
work hard for
Oh
them.
no.
When someone shorts you one, doesn't
Exactly.
matter if it's inappropriate or the timing. You gotta put up. It's great. It's 5. You can put up the full hand.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I saw that in some other coverage of that too. So I love it. That's great. I mean, it's cool that it's you see a lot of people who've posted things about Caroline Monty and just the reaction to her and sort of her impact on a lot of riders in the domestic scene is really evident. Just covering the sport for a while. She's been a stalwart and she's been there. I remember when she got second at Worlds, and it was like, she was like, yes, like this is what I can do. Like I can do more, and like sort of really going again. I feel like maybe at that point she was maybe in between teams or something. It was like, so she was like, no, I'm fully committed and I want to race, and like I can be this good. And so, gosh, you look at her, like I have her CX24 page up right now, and like just the amount of gearboxes that go all the way across the screen. She's been doing it for a while. So that's cool that you could be there. And it's cool that everybody did that. And I think it's a proper way to do it.
Yeah. No, I was happy that I was able to witness that. And then, you know, they started the race, and to the in the CMU kits, although we've seen them in, well, Bear and CCB kits as well. McKenna Kellerman and Cassie Hickey went out hard, and were leading this race. I think for a while there, Mani was gapped a little in third place, a couple seconds back. Lauren Zerner was gapped a couple more seconds back in fourth place, and that's kind of how they rode around like that for a while. It was really good to see McKenna out there again. You know, I think Cassie kind of like using those power sections was looking really strong, and then when it went to the climbs, that's where, you know, McKenna just absolutely shined and was able to catch her and eventually pass her. But behind, Mani was doing, I think, what we see her do all the time, just dieseling through, you know, coming by. Just you could hear her before she got there, just with her breathing, just feeling like she was suffering the whole time. And all of a sudden, she comes around one lap and she's leading, and then just like spread it out, you know, and just growing that gap. And it was, I mean, what a truly, you know, like I talked about the other moment, but this one as well, being like, well, these aren't parade laps for me. I'm gonna go win this race. Was that her first win for this year?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure I double checked that. Yeah. Yeah. For her first win of the season. So, snagging one more win that last season, going out with a bang. It's pretty great to get the salute at the beginning and then to go ahead and win the race.
Yeah. And then I think, she got third on day 2, and I'm sure she was like, I not like she had anything to prove, but nothing else to do that weekend. She could just enjoy it. And Kellerman actually got that win on day 2 with Hickey in second. Talked to McKenna for a little while. Sadly, we're not going to see her race in Much Cross, which is a bummer. Yeah.
So not nationals then.
She'll do nationals.
Okay.
She'll do
because I was thinking
she was one of these people when I was talking to her that was sad that the power line was taken out.
Yeah, so McKenna, I didn't really know her much of her. She got second last year at U23 Nationals, and in terms of UCI races, that's all she raced. And the year before that, she raced and got sixth. She's a mountain biker then, obviously, Bill?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's cool that she could grab a win there. Cassie Hickey in second, so nice. We also had Sonny Gilbert, also, veteran stalwart of the cross scene out there. Got sixth on day 2, so that's cool. Cool she would come out. I think that she lives in that area, so home race for her.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a Colorado flavor out there. You had Todd Wells in the men's race racing. It was just it was good vibes. I'm glad it was, as I said, glad to be able to go out and check that out and play with my manual focus camera and try to
I
get
saw
a few
you
shots.
Well, you posted some very nice shots. I like the black and white. But
it's a black and white camera.
Oh, it's a black and white camera?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that existed.
Yeah, the Bear filter that they put on top to make it into color isn't there, so it's just pure. You get sharper images, but it's just black and white.
Interesting. Wait, is digital?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Huh. All right.
No, it's a film camera that only takes black and white film.
Well, I guess you were able to snag a few. I mean, manual focus, shooting bike racing with manual focus is very hard, and you usually go wide.
Yeah. Well, it rangefinder too to make it even more fun. So, but it was definitely just just pre-focusing on spots.
Yeah.
Using some steak, using a lot of steaks.
Well, my autofocus still likes to focus on steaks, so I don't know.
Yeah. All right. What else we have going on? We had a national championship. So should we?
We had the Canadian national and.
I thought we were going to talk about Norway.
Oh, Norway. Well, that was last week, Bill. That was
last
DCCX.
weekend. Okay. Yeah. That's why the Norwegians.
That actually was before DCCX. I don't know what you're looking at.
I don't know.
Estonia, Lithuania, and Norway all had their nationals.
Well, that was like the alternative nationals day. But yeah, so we had Canadian nationals in the snow.
A little bit of snow. It seemed like the snow really came on day 2 for CX Levy.
For the CX Levy was the snow race.
Yeah, that was day 1 was nationals there, and I think it was like reading Mag's report and just looking at some coverage, but I think it was also like very, very, very cold. I think it might have snowed a little bit, snowed sort of before, cold, wet, muddy. Once again, looks like there's some really tough looking like run-ups there at that course. But yeah, I guess Magali got the dub. Small field, there's some questions about if they ran the women's and elite and U23 together. I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, I didn't.
But
I don't know if you can for nationals.
Yeah,
I feel like you have to have them set, but I'm not. I don't know. I don't know if that's true. But yeah, so 7 in that field. Rochette taking the win. McGill in second. Atya Verkerk in third. And really Mags and Sid, and then 4 minutes back for the rest of the field. So it's just coming down to those two. Magali gets her jersey. So hadn't been there in a while.
First time since 2019.
Yeah. Well, in the last 5 years, it's either been a Holmgren or a Rochette in that kit.
Is that how it's been, or what about McGill ever win it?
And yeah, men's race. Do you think Tyler heeded our advice and took some time to relax and
I don't think so because
he raced?
No, he was at Pan Am's
the weekend before.
Yeah, didn't need to.
He's going to put in so many. How many races does he have this year so far?
Let's see.
1, 2,
He's got
3,
16
4,
races this year.
16 races.
He's already got more races than he did last year. I don't
Complete.
know.
You know, when he said he was going to focus on cyclocross, he was not messing around.
Yeah, I don't know. Tyler, are you listening? Are you going to Europe this year? Or are you going to go to North Carolina? Are you done? He might be done.
He can't be done.
No, he went to Europe last year.
It's just like halftime.
Yeah,
I'm sure he'll go to Europe.
Regardless,
he's your champ again.
Yeah, I'm looking at to see. Yeah, he won in 2022. Was his first win. So a couple years out of the jersey, he's back in it. We'll be representing. Hopefully, we'll be seeing that at Trek USCX next year. Cody Scott in second and third place. Neil Perot. I don't know if I said that correctly, but
4 races this year. He did Rochester to warm up, and then he took the other tack. He's not on the Tyler Clark
race them all
program.
Yeah, focusing in. Day. So wait, what are we had other results? Who won? Let's see.
Raf won the women's U23 over Nico Knoll. And then Mika Komaniuk won your men's U23 over Julian Desjardins. And Emilian Belzile won your junior men. Eliane Blaze won your junior women. She was at Pan Am's, yeah,
over a bunch of riders who we saw all up in the
got fourth in Pan Am's.
Yeah. All right,
Canadian
Day
Nationals.
2.
Yeah, Day 2
was a snow race, and you should go look at the CX Livy Instagram because there's some pretty cool little highlight flash videos of it just looks absolutely brutal in terms of like, I don't know, like someone wrote in, like, was that the most snow we've seen at a CX race, not counting Val Soleil? And I think so. I know in North Carolina, they had that one race where they canceled.
Yeah.
But it was like
there's
6 inches on the ground.
Been I feel like Boulder Cup. I feel like that in the past has had some snow races. You know, if you go international, you know, there are quite a few, and then the one that sticks out like is where we're going this weekend in Tabor. It's had a lot of snowy races there.
Yeah.
I think there was a chance we're going to have one for the weekend, but now it looks like it's just going to be cloudy
at Tabor.
Yeah.
Tabor.
Yeah.
And they say it can't be in a Winter Olympics.
Yeah,
I mean,
I know
Canadians,
my athletes are just trying to just ruin it all for everyone.
I mean, biathlete. I mean, bicycle. Like, what's going on here? Like, you could ride your bike and shoot a gun as well. I mean, do we need to add shooting to cyclocross to make it to help it get
winter
into
sport?
The winter sport?
Does that make it make it a winter sport?
I don't know.
I think what they're offended by is that you're actually competing against other people at the same time, which is, other than like some of the cross country skiing. Like that's always been, the way I look at it, that's the biggest difference for most of the summer versus the Winter Olympics, where the summer is you're racing against other people, and in the winter you're racing against the clock.
Except for hockey.
Yeah. I mean, there are exceptions,
there's ice in that one. Yeah. Yeah. Whatever. I don't know that conversation. But I don't know. All I want to say is that it looked pretty crazy. It looked pretty extreme. And I'm looking at the results in the women's race. Raf wins that one. Nico Knoll in second, Mags in third. But you look at the time gaps, and 1:13 back to second, 3:13 back to Magali, 7:53 back to Raylan Nuss, 7:53, and she's in fourth place. And the last rider on the lead lap was 12 and a half minutes. So, I mean, it's got those like in extreme conditions, and sort of you either have the course dialed or you have everything sort of set up and you've got your lines, you know how you're getting through. And then if you make a mistake or your pedals are getting full of snow, it's just like the time compounds, and like, I can see it really stretching out. But that's cool, man. There's some cool photos posted. Go check them out. Like, I think it's cool when we can see races in conditions like this. Tyler Clark took the dub day 2. Not quite a streak, but 2 in a row. Cody Scott.
Finish up. Then I want to ask you about the streaks.
Cody Scott second, and Rhett Bates in third in the men's.
All right. Who's leading the streaks these days?
Still Vanderpool, your daddy. I mean, he's not. I mean, we've Strohmeyer dropped off. Some people have dropped off these last few weekends. I mean,
What's Lucinda at?
She's back on at 3.
Okay.
And Zuzana Kristalla, she's back on at 3.
All right.
Yeah, streaks kind of got interrupted by the Pan Am's weekend. A lot of people falling off. Yeah.
Yeah, Brody McDonald just taking away the Strohmeyer streak.
Yeah, he needs to race some more.
He raced in Hama. Yeah, it's already over there. So Andrew and Lydia Kuzak both raced Flandrian Cross over the past weekend. So that was cool. I think it was good. It's good to like just go to Belgium and jump right into a mutter. Like just, it's just straight into the deep end. We talked about Lucinda. She ended up winning that race, but Lydia Kuzak coming off of her DCCX C2 win, jumping into the Hame C1 in 13th place.
Yep.
Points in the C1. That was we were looking at that. I believe that's the first non-World Cup points in Europe for a CXD racer.
Nice.
So that's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was able to watch a little bit, and she was pretty good start, kind of up in the mix, and then chasing, and so
riding those planks, and yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I always forget that Hama is the Blair Witch course. And
it is, yeah.
They're now, like, for a while they went the other way, and you ended through the stick section. Now you start there.
Yeah, because when that was, that's Elliot Caldwell sent a clip to me because it's the race we always talk about and always forget the name of, because that's the famous brake check. That's the Vanderpool brake check coming
was
out.
At Hama?
Was at Hama when it was going the other direction.
Yeah. Okay.
When they got to the finish and turned right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was like super long finish. Like they did a finishing stretch and then they turned right and did another finishing stretch. But yeah.
Yeah. And well, it comes around Vanderpool there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone posted that recently. So I guess Marie Schreiber, 4th place, her first race back too, had some chain issues. She was responding to some trolls online. She's like, I'm a professional cyclist. Like, I know how to put my chain back on. Like, you don't understand the situation. Like, you don't know exactly what kind of chain catcher and what's going on and crashing.
Exactly.
Like, shut up. And then I guess at the end she had to run across the finish line to hold on to her 4th place. So, running, winter sport. Why not?
Look, the cyclocross stretch is all part of the sport.
It is. Yeah.
When you bend over your bike to try to get your chain back on, it's just the traditional cyclocross stretch. Yeah. So good stuff there. Should we just tackle these questions we got?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. We got a lot. It was awesome.
Oh,
thank you.
Great.
All. Oh, you know what? Before we do that, just switch accounts here on my. So we had Aunt Sherry last week. Or yeah. Give me a hard time about my pronunciations on the women's elite. No.
Yeah, we didn't know who it was.
U23 coverage, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And was concerned that I was mispronouncing a name, but it never really said whose name. And so this is Mia's aunt, very proud. And so I was like, hey, I'm really sorry. I want to get this right. A, you have to tell me who you're talking about, and B, you have to tell me how to pronounce it correctly so I don't get it wrong. And we finally so this was on YouTube, and then she reached out on Instagram. So here we go. Here now is we can do this correctly from here on out.
Asseltine, not Asseltine.
There it is, Mia Asseltine.
Asseltine. Okay.
So not
Noted.
like saltine. So
Not like
joke
saltine.
from like 5 years ago, So
Which I
I'm
always
glad
enjoyed.
I'm glad that we were able to clear that up. We had some I believe Kaya's aunt in there defending her. That was good stuff too. The auntie's coming strong in the YouTube comments. Yeah, me too.
Proud of their nieces.
Yeah, for sure.
As they should be.
Yeah. All right, now let me get to these questions. While we're doing that, we also had a question from our buddy Josh in Wisconsin, Trek, about where we'd be able to watch the World Cup racing in the U.S. And from there's nothing there. They won't publicize anything anywhere, and I think that's because there still remains no rights holder for the World Cup in the U.S. Like Flow's just Canada. Max doesn't have the World Cup, so no one has bid on those rights. And for countries or areas that don't have a rights holder, you're able to watch them for free on YouTube. So I'm assuming, unless that policy has changed, that we will still be able to watch the World Cup races on YouTube. Okay, so that's a good thing. I hope that no one bids on them.
So we're thinking that because Flow has it listed, but we're thinking that's just Canada.
Yeah, okay. I believe that Flow only has Canadian.
All right, sorry Canadians. Sorry Canada. Sorry.
All right, Andrew Moore, which 3 World Cups are you excited for? He says, so Namur and 2 others.
Well, I'm not excited for Namur then.
That's still one. I'm excited for Namur. That's still one that's like on my short list of races I have not been to. I'll tell you the first one I'm excited about, going to Tabor and then Flamanville. And that's the one. I've never been to Flamanville, so I'm really looking forward to that one. I think that's going to be fun. That, and then after that, I don't know. I mean, Benidorm, I still want to go there.
Yeah. I mean, I think that okay, so I'm excited. Benidorm, number one, because I think the racing there has always been really good.
Yep.
And now that I've been to Spain, obviously I'm a huge fan of Spain. I'm an expert at everything Spanish, so I love Benidorm. I'm interested in Turalba in Italy, because we didn't have that race last year, not in Turalba, but somewhere close by, I believe. Sorry if I'm wrong on that one. So I'm excited to see what that is like. I don't think it's quite on the coast as last year. I'm trying to zoom in on the map here, but where'd it go? No, but so I'm excited for that. And then looking at this list, Zonhoven. To kill, right? That's just
always excited for that one.
Yeah,
it's just
I'm not excited for the crashing. I'm excited for the skillful riding of those sand chutes. And I like when they come out of the sand, there's always that turn that kind of goes onto a little path above, and there's something that is always such a point in the race where somebody gets that right or gets it wrong, and it always sort of is a really good feature coming out of that sort of tough run up. So. Yeah, those are my 3.
Yeah, Jeremy from a Jam Fund, and we're talking about this at Really Rad, and it's such a race of completely it's a race of dualities, because you have the kiln, which is just this madhouse and is like so loud and just so festive, and then it's just dead. It's just a ghost town everywhere else. They just you ride through that and you exit it, and then it's just like crickets for 3/4 of the track, and then you're back in it again. And the cool thing too is they're short laps, so it's like you're always coming back. But that's kind of a neat one. All right,
I'm looking at the map. I think that area that's quiet is is it the Honden Los Loop Zone?
Oh, that's the dog park.
Okay, yeah, is that what that
the dog
is?
training? That's the dog training. The
there's a nature preserve.
There's a nature preserve, and then there's the dog club is where the press room is.
Okay,
it's awesome. So it's this nice little like building, and what I love, because it's Belgium, is that the dog club, the dog training club, you go in there and it's like a full bar.
Sounds like New Orleans.
Let's see.
Oh, wait. Speaking of Tabor, friend of the show, Jan Buxton, posted some photos, not of Tabor, sorry, of Namur. And it was cool to see some of the features sort of not, decked out in course gear. So thanks, Jan, for posting those photos. That was really cool. If you're in the Slack, go check them out.
Chris Bennett, not seeing Vita signed up for NCGP. Is the coming out party nationals? I think we talked about this last week as well. Who knows? We don't know. We don't know if or when we will see Vita. Assuming we'll see her in Europe at some point, but I think it's going to be really interesting to see who signs up for nationals. I think a couple weeks away, and we'll have to start pouring over those start lists. But it's going to be really curious to see who shows up for for that race. Ben Frederick, was good to see Ben out there. And Boulder was asking, I guess, me curious about being at a bike race and not working. It was great. I enjoyed it. I had a lovely time. Didn't feel like I had to be there at a certain time. Didn't feel like I could leave whenever I wanted. It was nice. It was good. I enjoy working at bike races. I know you do too.
Right.
So it's not like it's a burden.
Right.
But it was just something different. So it was fun.
It's peaks and valleys, man.
Be back in the thick of it next weekend. Okay. What do you think of elites going to Europe if they're not, say, Stroh or Brunner? Be gentle. That's Ben Frederick. I say
do it.
World Cups are an awesome place, and if you can get a start, you should just go and race them, and that is an incredible thing to do, and go for it.
Yeah, I think, well, it's like one of those things where,
I think World Championships is a different story, but as far as the World Cups, and if there's empty spots, and you've have shown that you met the requirements and got the points, then heck yeah, go crazy, have an awesome time.
But also if we removed everybody who has a 50% chance of winning, a 30% chance of winning the race, then there's no one there, right? At some point,
that's also that's the U23s and the juniors and stuff. That's when, for all of us who argue that the World Championships are not a development race, I think they are the younger, especially for older, especially in the elites. These are, go race them. Go race against the big fields. Go and experience those crowds. I mean, and Ben, you've already done that, so you have that experience. So go back and crush it in the Czech Republic. We'll see you out there. Okay, here's an interesting one. At Kira Matt, can we make a push for January Nationals again? Do you think it's a feasible thing? Here's the problem, Matt. You and I are on opposite ends of this one. I would make a push not to have January Nationals again. Because again, if you're looking at any racers who aspire to be racing in Europe, it's really hard. It's really hard to have to come back for nationals and then go back, because that's going to be in the middle of the World Cup season. It's going to be right near cursed period. It's just it makes scheduling really difficult. Where nationals are now makes it a little easier. If nationals were in November, it'd make it even easier. I'm all for earlier nationals, and then I'll get the other kind of part of that is, if you want to have nationals in January, you can have amateur nationals in January. You can split out the elites, and everybody hates that idea, but that's another way to do it.
Yeah, I feel like you said, we're going earlier, and really, yeah. I mean, it's there was a point that there were 3 World Cups in the United States, right? In September and early October, and it doesn't feel like it's definitely not going back. We're not going to have more World Cups here, and we could in the future, right? But right now, it's set up where you race in the States and then you transfer over to Europe to sort of progress to that next level of racing, and to come back for nationals. I mean, it doesn't seem to make sense anymore for the racers, even the amateur racers now.
But here's the thing, and I understand the argument. I think it's for a lot of younger racers that having it in December runs up against exams, runs up against it's not a good time if you are still in high school, still in middle school, whatever, junior high, and want to race nationals. It's not the best time, and maybe January is easier because you're already on break. And I get that. That's kind of why I'm like, well, we're serving 2 different communities with our national championship. And maybe it's easier then to have different championships for those different communities. And I know that as an organizer, you don't want to do that. As a federation, you don't want to do that, because it kind of splits out who's going to come and see. You're depending on, you got to have people show up to make money. Believe me, we lived through this with Pan Ams. I know how this goes. So you need all those people there. But at the same time, it just doesn't. Somebody's going to come out behind no matter where you put nationals. In the same way that I'm not sure why we put the elites back on Sunday. That's sort of, these are just travel constraints, but I guess we'll see how it plays out. Myers and I can have we can have the post-race conversation once again.
Yeah. Well, so now I got to drive home on Monday as opposed to Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
I got to miss a day of work. When it was on Saturday, I could drive home on Sunday.
Yeah.
I am curious, and so if listeners want to let me know, are you in your local series? So the big, California. Yeah, I know you guys have a big scene there. Oregon, Washington. Are you guys racing a ton of cross in January? Is that still a thing? Because I feel it's
because that used to be, that was the whole thing, is that, you look at Powers, you look at Tim Johnson,
you go to California
or Arizona or wherever else, and they would just train for a month.
Yeah.
For nationals. I mean,
Yeah.
don't do that anymore, but that was because there was so much time between the end of the season and nationals. All right. How do we think, this is a donut endurance, how do we think USA riders are going to fare in Europe? I hope well. We'll see.
I mean, I guess you can
I think
only
there's
really
opportunities there.
Yeah, what we've done in the past, and hope for progression going forward. Lydia Cusack.
I mean, we'll see this weekend. We'll have a big crowd at Tabor. It's the first junior World Cup, and there's going to be a lot of U23s there as well. And the USA Cycling is the junior trip, but there's also going to be U23s there. There's going to be some elites here and there. So yeah, it's going to be really fun to see. All right, Dolomite TX. Whatever happened to Donnelly tires? I don't know. I looked around. Donnelly was Clement, and then they kind of, which was Pirelli, and they kind of bought their way out of that. And that's so when you had like that Raleigh Clement team that Caroline Manny was on, that became Donnelly. Right. That team for a while, and all those tires, and they were huge, and everybody, was riding the airport code tires. And I don't think there's been any, formal, we're done, but haven't seen anything new. I don't think there's like low or no stock a lot of places. So yeah, it's a good question. I don't know the answer. Let us know if you do. All right. It's from Hans. I don't mind DC. What pressure are you running?
Wait, what?
What pressure are you running?
What pressure am I running?
Yeah.
Just in general?
I guess.
Let's see. I think for Wednesday,
what was the Bandit Cross pressure?
I think I pumped to 30 to ride over there, and I was riding on 38s, and there was not a lot of sealant, and I don't want to burp, so I did a couple. I went, did that. So who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? I used to ride like mid 20s, high 20s. I mean, I was sort of a heavier guy, so I never saw low 20s. So I'm going to say 28. No, yeah, I'm going to say 28.
Yeah, that's usually around where I was.
Yeah.
Well. Okay, whose year will it be between Van Toornout, Nice, Ness, and Urus? And this is from Doug Huguenard.
Well, it's funny. Last time we talked about Euros, I was like, Van Toornout, he's clearly the strongest guy. And then he hasn't done anything since. And Nice he won Copenhagen. Thibaut is having a very Thibaut season, right? He's hot and cold. So
Urus is back.
Urus is back. I feel like we're going to have this once again. We're going to have multiple actors at the front of these races winning multiple things. So I think that's pretty great. I think all three of those guys will win multiple times. Obviously, some of them already have, but I haven't checked the standings, and we'll get into more Euro racing as the season progresses. But I don't know. It's kind of an exciting time. You have a lot of guys who are winning and then not doing so good the next week. I mean, Sweet won a race this year.
Yeah, I think this might be a breakout season for Thibaut. What I want to ask him, and maybe I'll have the opportunity to do this, is I think that this is the year that he is able to race not in his father's shadow, because. And what I want to ask him is if his road success has allowed him to enjoy cyclocross more, because there's no longer that one-to-one comparison with his dad.
Gotcha. I like that.
So that's kind of, I don't know. That's my theory. That's my theory based on nothing. I would love to have the opportunity to ask him that question. So hopefully if he's in check, maybe we'll be able to do that. I lost my place. Okay. Here's the important questions from Crab Dad. Gatorade, aluminum can or glass bottle?
Dude, you got to go. So he's referencing, for those who don't know, I went golfing this weekend, and this golf course I play in New Orleans Audubon Golf Course is the only place I have seen where you can get canned Gatorade. And it's much more refreshing for some reason. And we figured it out. It's because the can makes it crispy, and it just tastes so good. I do remember the glass Gatorade bottles. I'm sticking with the can, and I'm glad you asked this question, Aaron, because I was thinking, why haven't we made carbonated Gatorade yet? Is that my $1 million idea?
All right, go for it. I always enjoyed the glass bottles, being an old person and remembering when that was a thing.
The big 32-ounce glass bottle of Gatorade.
Let's see. Ginger Damus, Canadian Nats elite women had 6 racers. U23 was barely higher. How do we keep women in cyclocross? I think it's just proportionate. How do we keep people in cyclocross? So I think we continue just doing what we're doing and trying to make some tweaks here and there, but I do think that the push really has to, and we've said this before, it has to be on the local level. It's you out there doing bandit races. It's that kind of stuff just to get the juice back, nationally at that level, and that's how you create more elite racers. You gotta have them out there young. We've seen bigger junior fields. We see the bigger junior fields in the amateur races. I know the MFG race up in Seattle this weekend had like 1,000 people. So, it's still happening in places, but and maybe they have the key. We got to figure out how to bring that spirit and fun to the rest of the country and the continent. Okay. Which wide angle podium podcaster, this is from Fitz Photo and Fun, would win a cyclocross race and who would be last? Whoa. I have a pick for who would win.
Yeah, I mean that's
here's my question. So, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so probably the one with the most Palmares would be Amanda Nom.
Okay, yeah,
the most experience.
Are we just like saying ever or today?
Oh, today. I was just basing that.
Yeah.
Today, I don't know. I don't know what Tim. Probably the little guy. Little guy is sneaky. He seems to be sneaky fast.
You are just that last word you said is the key to what you're forgetting, because there's this show called Nowhere Fast, and you got KBH and you got Zach.
Right. Zach would crush
I'm
me.
putting my money on Zach.
I'd probably pick KBH then, because
it depends if he's riding. If he's back to riding, then
that's true.
Maybe,
yeah.
But I think it's really between that show, because they actually race bikes fast.
They do.
Even Mike Swart probably be up there as well.
Yeah, definitely. Rob, only because I know that he hurt himself pretty bad at DCX, so I'm going to give him the DNF.
Okay.
His previous experience with cross, I would probably be just ahead of him.
I'd be back there. I'd be back there for sure.
I would get the whole shot, though. I will say that I would 100% get the whole shot.
Oh, we'll have to race for you and me. We'll race for whole shot. All right, Chris Bennett, one more time. Hey, Boedi, what upgrades have you put in the golf bag that you're bringing to Fayetteville with you so you and Tyler can play?
I'm trying to think if I have any upgrades. Right till I had bought a driver a couple years ago. Nothing. I'm rocking, my gear's a couple years old now. The clubs are very old. New glove, new balls, I lose them in the water every once in a while. So testing out Max Fly's new pro line, even though that's the Dick's Sporting Goods brand. But people are saying it's good. So.
You're having all this work done on your house. Have you budgeted for them to build you a shed for the sim?
Oh, I got a garage for that.
All right. How does Stroh stack up against his age group in Europe? This is from the Ricker NJ.
I don't know. Let's look.
Guess we'll see. I think he had
what is Stroh?
You had your shakeout ride. He had his shakeout ride, I think, in Hama. So this will be. This is going to be a fun. I mean, it's tough in this elite field. He knows that, and hopefully he'll be up there in the 10 to 15. I think that's a good starting goal. But this is his redemption race at Tabor. After sitting second wheel and crashing out during his U23 World Champs race. Back at it. Jordan, CX Jordan, Bike Rumor Jordan. Were there any features on the course that you thought would be a non-issue but turned into? Okay. I'm going to assume he means DC, but I have no idea. And no, I don't know. I honestly haven't thought about Pan Am since it. Well,
I feel like everything we sort of talked about in sort of our pre-ride or walk did kind of come to fruition as a bit of a feature. I didn't see I guess I watched the footage, but it didn't seem like the Schooner Hill
Yeah.
It did in pre-ride. I saw people kind of getting lines wrong and crashing there, but
That was one that in the past, just how it was set up this year, was definitely just a ride. In the past, that has been a run.
Yeah,
because I think it was tighter. So yeah, I don't know. We got stuff to think about for next year. Rob Schiani wants to know, Boedi, if Tone Arts is a doper.
yes, right.
I mean, he was suspended for it, right?
Yeah,
He's out there racing again. He's your European champion. I don't know. I don't know what lies in the hearts of men.
I mean, I think, I can't remember how it all shook out, and I've kind of forgotten it. But I think he tried to appeal. His appeal failed. So I guess you could sort of say, in the eyes of the UCI, he's a doper, but he served his time and he's back. And he's, like you said, he's the Euro champ.
Yep. Who knows? Okay, Jackrabbit 49er. This is a good one to end on. Any scuttlebutt on Jingle making a comeback? What have you heard?
What?
Talk to us.
Yeah, I haven't heard that.
That'd be amazing.
Maybe the World Cups are coming back.
We're gonna have 3 next year.
That would be amazing if that happened.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything, but I'm happy to start the rumor and just put some pressure on stuff. Right? They have a lot of gravel races that go right by there. So.
Yeah, just sort of loop them through the course one lap, and then we have cross race.
Exactly. Anything else we need to cover here? Right at it.
No. I did get a question. Not a question. I posted if any racers wanted to DM me a race report, because just tell me how your race went. And we didn't get a UCI race report, but Rager in the Cage want to let me know about Chicago scene. It's going pretty well, but he wanted to tell me about an up and comer in the men's 1-2-3 race. Rylan looks like Zakaitrek, but it's not. I don't even know how to say it. I don't know if it's Zacharek. Anyway, Rylan has raced in the Trek UCX Junior Series. Sounds like he's doing pretty well up in Chicago, in the local scene. So good for him, and we'd like to hear those stories. And I'm, maybe he's a rider who will be seen more towards the front of the races in the Trek UCX next year. Trek
nice.
USCX.
All right. You also got some kind of 411 on the Chicago scene in general, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like they're doing steady. So I said a lot of racers might have been upset by USAC's, what is it called? Their policy number 7. So I think that maybe have pulled some racers out,
for sure,
choosing not to race. But yeah, man, I think that, like you said, we have these scenes all over the place, all over the country that are still cruising along, no matter what people say. And so it's good to hear. And tell me, do you guys race in January? I want to know.
Yeah, exactly. I think anywhere. Also want to know, we get asked the question, what can be done about cyclocross? I want to know what you think. Let us know.
Yep. What are you doing, and what has been successful?
Yeah.
Share with us.
Exactly. Where can they do that? You can leave a comment on YouTube. You can go to cxhairsbulletin@gmail.com. I think that's a good place to send us stuff. Yeah, get in touch.
Text
Instagram
Bill directly.
Text me directly. There's a hotline number you can text me on. It's like something CX Hairs.
You can text on that too.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's see.
You could send me a DM via the 18 Birdies app. Find me on there.
So, do you have an active USA Cycling race license?
I think it expired.
Do you have an active USGA license?
I just got one 2 days ago.
That's all I wanted to. Yeah.
Yep. No scores have been posted yet, but I it's funny. It's just like cycling. You pay the fee to the local association, and then you get your handicap number. Like USAC, you would want to join a team. You got to join a club first, and you pay your license fee, and then you can be entered in the results. So
right.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Hey, 1-405-294-2477. If you have little letters on your number pad, that's 1-405 CX Hairs.
There you go.
That's the number.
Text the hotline.
Text us. Leave a voicemail. We love playing voice mails on the air here. So,
Yeah, we had one.
Haven't, do that too.
Haven't had one in a while. So leave us something good. Tell us your secrets. Tell us your deepest, darkest fears. Let us know how you're feeling.
405-294-2477. Lines are open now. Boedi, I'll talk to you. I don't know. Should we try to record next week? I can record from Prague.
No, it never really works out, but
or we can just wait.
Yeah,
we'll see how it goes. It's going to be a mystery. We'll see y'all soon, regardless. I always just wait for you to say something else.
I forgot. I was going to have something to say. Oh, okay. You want to do that again, or?
Sure, but I'm not editing it.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right. We'll see y'all soon.
Hey, Bill, go down now. Oh, this is why I'm so good at intros.
Still not editing it. All right, we'll see y'all soon.
Hey, Bill, download me a hoagie from the internet.